So you're thinking about moving to Dallas, Texas, but your mother always told you that good things come to those who wait. Well, that's what we're going to kind of discuss in this video. Should you wait? Or, should you take advantage of the market and the rates going on right now? If you're interested in that, stick around because we're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Dallas, Texas and the surrounding areas, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market here in Dallas. My name is Levi, my partner Travis, and the team and I, we get calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you and you and you and you looking to make their move to Dallas. We love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. Happy to help you make a smooth move to Dallas. So should you wait in the current market? Well, we discussed a couple of things actually in the last 3 videos I've put out, which have been the bubble. Is the market going to crash, to buy or not to buy? What should you do? The market is pretty crazy right now, but we've actually already helped 64 families. Think about that, 64 families within the first 2 months of this year secure homes. And where most people are losing out on opportunity, you hear this word buyer fatigue. What buyer fatigue means is the fact that if you're just working with any old agent, and you've lost 2, 3, 4, possibly even 5 deals. We've worked with people that have worked with someone for 6 months, losing up to 11 homes, and then finally reached out to us. That should not be the case. There's still opportunity in this market. And as I mentioned in the previous videos, you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. So we're going to look at several different factors. First of all, there's a difference between overbidding and overpaying for a home. Overbidding means you're just going to go over the asking price. So that's first of all. That doesn't mean you're overpaying for the home, especially with the way the appreciation in the market is growing at this time. Now, is that going to slow down? Is there going to be a crash or a correction? Well, I've showed you several different articles and trends and everything that is happening in the Dallas area that really kind of says otherwise. There's a couple of more articles that have just recently come out. Let me share my screen with you real quick so that you can see this. Something I wanted to point out. Dallas-Fort Worth could see the biggest population surge through the U.S. through 2029. That means the next 7, 8, 9 years, they're expecting Dallas to be the top market. And then look at this. This comes out that says Dallas was the #1 market over the previous decade. So over the last 10 years, it's been the #1 market to grow, especially in people and businesses moving in, new construction, all areas. It's the #1 metro over the last decade. And now they're still saying for the next ongoing decade, Dallas is likely going to be the top market again. Think about it. It just became the 4th largest metro behind New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and now Dallas-Fort Worth, the 4th largest metro area, just recently passed Houston last year. That's a pretty big deal. And again, here's the thing with Houston. Houston loses a quarter of its growth because of the Gulf. All right. And I've showed you also, if I pull up the maps, which I've done several times, and you zoom out here on Dallas, you can see all that green space. I mean, look at all that land and opportunity all outside the Dallas area. Now look at this. Forney right here. Forney and is inside of Kaufman County. This has been slated as the 7th largest growing area in the whole country as far as the city, the community, and the county is actually slated as the #3 top growing county. Did I say that right? Top growing, fastest growing county in the United States is Kaufman County, where Forney is located. And look at all that green space out there around Forney and everything that can grow past that. Now, of course, Collin County, where Frisco, Allen, McKinney, Prosper, Salina, where these areas are located, these are some of the fastest growing in the North Dallas area. But look at the growth above that. And also, again, we've mentioned all the corporations that are moving in. TI, which is Texas Instruments. For those that are not familiar, that's where Ross Perot founded Texas Instruments and had made a lot of money there. And they just are building a $30 billion facility up in the Sherman-Denison area. Now, Sherman's been slated as one of the top growth markets now in the North Dallas area. And I say North Dallas, it's still pretty far north, but look at all of that space in between. Now, to me, that's what I've always said. This is what's going to help keep prices in check. The thing is prices are increasing, and you can see that by, if I show you even the market report, look at this, 24% increase in home prices just from January of last year. So if you would have bought in January of last year, you would have had on average about 24% equity, but the ranges go from between 24 to 32% of what we saw across Dallas-Fort Worth in the last year. But now look at what's going on. Active listings down 42%, months of inventory down 0.3 months, which means, and days on market is down 7 days, an entire week less, which means there's less listings on the market. Things are selling faster and inventory is a lot less. It would run out a lot more. So that's pretty significant. But again, Dallas, the number one market over the last decade, and scheduled to be the number one market now going forward. And that's in the last video I shared with you, to buy or not to buy, about the new construction that's going to be going forward. But again, we look at Salina, a lot of growth out there. Prosper is not even fully developed, and it's very difficult to find homes in Prosper right now. But so as these home builders continue to build more and more, we're going to continue to see this demand. The thing is that as long as these coastal regions, these coastal states, especially the West Coast, the Northeast Coast, as long as they continue what's going on with higher restrictions, more taxes, all these types of things, that is just driving more and more people out. So they're coming to Texas. And I'll tell you right now is a great time to live in Texas, not just in Texas, but Dallas especially. I tell you what, guys, we haven't dealt with all this stuff that a lot of these people are dealing with in all these coastal areas for a year and a half. Think about it. We've just been going on with our normal lives, doing everything that we used to do. Got a notification on here. Sorry about that. Before that we just, haven't dealt with. And think how much different people's lives are here to have that additional freedom, the less taxes, to less regulation on their businesses, and everything that goes along with that. That's why corporations and people continue to move here. It's creating more jobs. That's what this article was talking about as well, is that it is there's so much business and growth moving here that they're expected to grow to between 9 to 10 million in the metro. Now, a lot of you may say, well, I don't want to be in that big of a metro. But again, we have space here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's not like, you think about it, New York has over 9 million people on a very small island. That's why everything has to be built up. We were just talking about, I was with a client here driving around the other day, and they were like, where's all the 3-story buildings? Like, that's not really a thing here in Texas. Number one, we don't have basements. Number two, we mostly don't have 3rd stories. All of your homes, even your really high-end homes, 2 stories at the max, just because we have the land and the opportunity to where you can just grow wider and bigger. And again, everything is bigger in Texas. That is pretty true. So the thing is that room to grow, corporations, people are still moving here. And now with a lot of companies not even returning to the office space, that's a big deal. A lot of people that have been, I would say, I don't want to say, well, they haven't had much opportunity to leave. Because think about it, if you work for a company and you had to be at that office and work in that corporate office, and that's the way it's been for the last 10 to 15 years, maybe they wanted to move, but they couldn't because they had a good position. Now they're approved to work completely from home, remotely, whatever the situation may be. And they want to provide new opportunity for their family, for their kids. The school systems, less restrictions, lower taxes, more growth, better job economy. I mean, all of that is here in Texas, one of the most diverse cities as well in the country. Now they're able to take advantage of that. We don't see a letdown in that anytime soon at all whatsoever. Again, homes are appreciating significantly, but here's a couple of things that I mentioned also in the last video. I really want to stress this point, is that the longer you wait, think about this. The more you wait, you're losing on 2 fronts, possibly losing on 2 fronts. The fact that your buying power is going down with interest rates. As interest rates increase, buying power goes down. So that means if you could afford $500,000 in a home today. As that interest rate goes up, you may only be able to afford 450 or 430 or 400 as they creep up 0.5% or even 2% more. But you're also missing out on the appreciation in these homes and the appreciation that is growing with that. So you see that gap is going to widen. So not only are you possibly missing out in buying power, but that home is also appreciating at a rate that could double that gap. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. But again, you have to do what's best for you and your family ultimately. That's number one. Now, if you have to move or you're getting transferred, we deal with every type of situation. Our specialty is relocation. We work a lot with local buyers as well, buyers and sellers. And if you're thinking about selling your home locally in the Dallas area, definitely give us a call. We have a sell, stay, and search program, which means you can sell your house, stay there while we find your next house to purchase. So depending on what your situation is, that's a very good program for our local sellers. But the thing is that we've been very successful securing these homes, guys. 64 homes we secured for our clients in the first 2 months of this year. That's pretty significant. That means we had to win all of those deals and not a single one. Go check out our Google reviews if you want. Go to Google and search living in Dallas, Texas. You'll probably see our Google profile pop up and start reading some of our reviews. That should tell you, that will tell you what our clients are saying and how thankful they are for the fact that we don't mess around. If you got to find a home, we're going to find you a home. So the only thing that we ask is just be decisive, because that way you can make that decision. We'll make a move on it, but we're going to figure out what it takes to win that house. And it's better to secure a house if you've got the opportunity to do that, because we can build in an option in that, which gives us still 3 to 5 days, depending on the situation. If for some reason the house is not everything you want it to be, we can back out of that. So that's very important. So in that case, if you see something that you like, we can secure that. Then let's, do some due diligence on it and make sure it's still going to be a good fit. If it's not, no problem, we'll back out. But what happens is sometimes people say, I love that house, let me think about it. And just within 1 day, that home could be gone. You see listings, as I showed you on that last report, are down 42% even from last year. That's very significant. Less inventory on the market. It's selling a lot faster. Things are going quicker. People are still moving here in the same amount that they were last year. So that's just the situation that it is right now. But again, we have to deal with the market as it is. And so if you need to make a move, here's the thing. Everybody says this is the slow time right now. And we're not seeing that, not with our team. We're still getting more calls, more people reaching out every single day, multiple times a day, and they have to make a move. On top of that, some people are thinking that maybe they're not going to move for 2 or 3 months, but they see a house come up that they really love, and we go ahead and lock that in for them. I tell you what, we have a client right now that we contracted on a house. They're finally closing on it, new construction. They have probably now $150,000 in equity from whenever we secured that home for them, not even 8 months ago, because it's in one of the absolute best areas in Frisco that is completely sold out for now. And we were able to secure that home for $800,000 easily. If they wanted to not even move in and sell it right now, they could probably sell it for $950,000, $975,000, maybe even $1 million. But that's just the rate, because we found them one of the best homes in one of the best neighborhoods and locked it in at that time, at that market value. But now it's already grown significantly. So even if the market were to fall out and crash completely tomorrow, they probably wouldn't even lose all the equity they have in it now. Even if it went down or lost value, worst case scenario, it would go back to what they bought it for. And if they're going to live there for the next 2 years, they'll easily gain that equity back. So those are just a couple of things I wanted to bring to light. It's a fast-paced moving market right now, but what we want to let you know is that we're not letting that hold us back, right? If you need to find a home and you need to find it quickly, we're going to do that. Period. Our team is the absolute best here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's why you definitely have to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. And that's why we're helping so many make that smooth move here to Dallas, Texas. We absolutely love it. And so just again, if you have any questions, reach out. We're here to help and answer those questions, and just let us know what the situation is. But ultimately, we're not going to put you through buyer fatigue. We're not going to lose 2, 3, 4 deals for you. We're going to secure the home you need. We're going to do it quickly and get you in there. And that way you and your family can make that transition as easily as possible. All right. So again, thank you for everything. And until next time, well, we hope to show you around town.